Good morning, Ox Consortium. It's Father Brandimarti joining you again. Today I just wanted to offer just a brief reflection on the Catechism. So I'm sure that we all know what this is. I used to call it the Big Green Book. Now it's the Big Blue Book because Pope Francis changed a couple paragraphs in here approximately 4 or 5 years ago. But the Catechism is so important. If there are two books that every Catholic needs to have, it's these two. The Most Holy Scriptures and the Catechism. Because this is perfectly explained by this. Both of them are similar in that often we don't read them through front to back because they're not novels. They are collections. They're collections of articles, collections of spiritual stories, historical accounts, poetry, things that are designed to reveal to us who God is. And the Catechism is designed to unlock sacred scripture. So I strongly encourage everybody to have a catechism because this should be our first stop whenever we have a question. When we have a question about what does the church teach? Why does the church teach this? What does the scripture say about this? What does scripture say about that? This needs to be our first stop because this is a comprehensive answer that the church has given us so that we can be confident that we are speaking with the mind of the church. I've done this in my life. I'm sure many of you have too. Father, what's the church teaching on this? Father gives an answer. I don't like that answer. I'm going to go talk to another priest. Conveniently, there are two of us here. Usually, I would say, though, Father Ham and I will probably be giving you the same answer. But in the age of the internet, it's so easy to go online and say, oh, what is the Catholic teaching on this and this and this? I guarantee you will find someone somewhere who is telling you what you want to hear. Unfortunately, what we want to hear is very rarely what we need to hear. You know, I wanted to hear that I was, fit and thin for a long time. I still haven't heard anybody say that. Very nice people say that to me. No medical professional, and certainly the United States Army did not say that to me. So, it's one of those things where we need the truth if we're going to grow. If we're going to grow in our hearts, if we're going to grow in our lives, if we're going to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we need to know what the truth is. And we have this beautiful gift of the Catechism. Our authority is what really unites us. Remember, the church is one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. We are united, we belong to God, we are universal, and we are from the apostles. And the way we stay within the church is by following her teachings. And the Catechism is a beautiful, beautiful source for those teachings. I said this at my very first homily in all the masses, and I'll say it again. If I ever say anything that I can't back up with this, I'm wrong. And if I ever say anything wrong from the pulpit, I will issue a correction. Because this is what we're united with. This is the teaching of Holy Mother Church. This is what allows us to be united. This is what allows us the faith and confidence to know that you can go to any church around the world and you are going to get the same faith. You are going to get the same truth. We are guided by this document. And the Catechism is so beautiful. Footnotes are, anyone who's gone through college knows, footnotes are the king of life. And I would say this book is, a lot of it's just mostly footnotes. It allows us to see where in Scripture, where in the historical documents of the church do these things come from. Nothing is simply invented. It all comes from somewhere. But the Catechism is such a valuable resource for that reason. So, my brothers and sisters, I truly encourage you, as you walk through life, as you encounter these questions, always start here. Always start here. Conveniently, this is free. It's free from the Vatican website. It's free from the USCCB website. The books, it's Prime Day. Well, it's not Prime Day by the time you're watching this, but, Amazon has them for anywhere from $10 to $15. It's a very small investment for you to have the source of the doctrine of our holy faith, for you to have the encyclopedia of what it means to be Catholic, of what it means to be a person of prayer, of what it means to be a sacramental person, what it means to be someone who believes in the creed and prays to the Lord. This is where we get this from. This is how we understand Holy Scripture. The Catechism is such a beautiful gift. And in the history of our church, there have only been two. There was a catechism written for the Universal Church after the Council of Trent in the 1500s, and then in the early 1980s and 1990s, Pope John Paul the Great gave us the beautiful gift of the Catechism. So many others around the world who profess different faiths are at the whim and the will of their pastor, their rabbi, their imam, their spiritual leader. Whatever they say is what they're expected to believe. Whereas we are given this beautiful gift. We are given an insurance policy by Holy Mother Church that your priests, that your catechetical instructors, that your deacons, that your bishop is teaching what the church teaches. We are united. We are connected. And we're connected through our holy teaching. We're connected through the sacraments, but we're also connected via the authority that comes from the teaching office of the church. And that teaching office gives us this beautiful document. And I encourage you, brothers and sisters, to be friends with this, to look at it, to read it, to guide it, to study it, to allow it to be part of your spiritual life. There's a beautiful series of podcasts currently out. The Bible in a Year was very, very popular with Father Mike Schmitz, and I couldn't be happier that he's doing now the Catechism in the Year. If the Catechism is perhaps something that you've never opened, perhaps that you're unfamiliar with it, I encourage you to listen to an episode or two of Father Mike Schmitz's The Catechism in a Year. It's a beautiful way to come to know the teaching of the church, to come to knowledge of faith, and to grow in the heart of life and love. As always, I stand ready to assist you, and I speak for Father Hammond in saying the same. Anything that we, as the priests who've been entrusted to this parish to help teach and to help guide and to help guard you, we are so happy to do. Please always feel free to reach out. And in the meantime, I hope that you have a happy summer and a wonderful week. May God richly bless you.